Canadian politics is boring.
Can you make some turkey noises to start? Happy Thanksgiving, everybody! Welcome. Welcome to Canadian Politics is Boring. This is our pet turkey, Charles.
Snibbles.
Nibbles?
Snibbles.
Yeah. I called him Charles, but I was wrong. My name is Jesse Harley, and with me, as always, is Rhys Waters. Rhys, say hello.
Hello, and happy Thanksgiving to those who are deserving of being given thanks. And thank you for giving.
And to the rest,
give thanks, and thanks give.
That's it. That's the end of our episode. Thanks for listening. Okay.
Also, this might sound different because we're in a studio together.
For the first time.
A very nice studio that is nothing to do with me, and I have no business links to it. I'm not promoting it because it's wonderful and the most attractive studio in Canada.
It is a very attractive
with exposed
studio.
brick walls,
right?
Lovely oak beams.
We sound like we're in the same room for all the rest of our episodes, but because of the pandemic, we've been separate for the majority of them. But,
I know,
and now that we're in the maritime bubble of safety.
But there were a bunch of amateur scientists on Facebook who taught us that COVID was a hoax, so now it's fine to be in the same room.
Oh, right. Yes, of course. Yeah, what am I thinking? Yeah.
We didn't. COVID is real. Look after yourselves. Socially distance. Wear a mask.
If we have to explain sarcasm to people for fear that they will take what we say so literally that they will ignore doctors' advice, I think we have the wrong crowd. Don't
You don't know. You never know. You never know how people might take it.
Do not take our medical advice, people. That's just print that off and stick it to a wall if you have to, okay?
I have a degree in documentary film and television. I'm not here to give you medical advice.
I am here to give you medical advice, and I have a degree in nothing whatsoever. So,
really?
Yeah. No, I went to film school and failed it twice.
You're technically not qualified to be on this show anymore. So.
I know.
You don't have to be college educated. You don't have to be college educated to be on a podcast. Luckily,
thank God.
Luckily for you,
right? Yeah, I know.
Luckily for everybody else.
What I do.
So, this is a Thanksgiving special. I don't know. I mean, it's just a normal episode. It's just that
we're extra thankful.
We're extra thankful, and we're extra giving. This is only my third Thanksgiving I've ever celebrated in my life, because Thanksgiving is not a thing in the UK.
Right, it's a very North American thing.
It is.
Which is weird because the dates for American and Canadian Thanksgiving are completely separate, and I actually don't know why that is. I should know.
Well, we're about to learn, Jesse. This is wonderful. This episode is light on politics. It's
your face lit up,
but
when you said
you're asking questions I have the answer to. And I want to tell you a little bit about. So obviously, like, this whole Thanksgiving is part of like a harvest festival, which is a festival or a time of year that's celebrated in lots of different cultures and parts of the world, because it's when you harvest your food before the winter. We've had some reviews about you knowing nothing about Canadian history or politics.
It keeps me up at night.
Which is one of the reasons why you're co-host on this show. That's the whole point.
It's kind of the point of the show, yeah.
Exactly. Tell me what you do know about Canadian Thanksgiving.
Like the history of it?
Yeah, why?
Nothing.
Okay,
Nothing.
cool.
I don't know. I'm assuming it has something to do with. No, I mean, like, in America, it was. I mean, it had. Yeah, I don't even know. I don't care enough about Thanksgiving to really like spend an afternoon in Wikipedia and dive into various books in the library to really figure out the secrets of Thanksgiving.
Luckily for you, I did.
Right. Yeah. So there you go.
Yeah,
I'm very happy to. Please, Rhys, tell me about Canadian Thanksgiving and the differences between Canadian and American Thanksgiving.
So,
I'm very interested.
Well, I must tell you that when I first came to Canada, I thought Thanksgiving was just an American thing. And then I thought Canada was actually copying. It was a thing that was.
I thought that for a long time too.
I thought it bled over into Canada.
I still kind of felt,
but it's not true. It's not true.
Is that really true? No, I thought they're like, oh, that sounds like a good idea. We'll do it, but we'll pick our own date.
No, so Canada's version is different and on a different date, but also it happened before the American version.
What?
Yeah. So, as I said. So apparently a lot of Indigenous people in Canada have a history of celebrating the fall harvest. So there were dances, there were rituals, just to celebrate a good harvest and just to send out some good vibes before the winter got harsh and everyone was cold. But The first Thanksgiving by Europeans in North America was held by Sir Martin Frobisher.
So let me see that. Turn the screen to me. 'Cause I know you're saying that wrong.
Sir Martin Frobisher. 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 How would you pronounce that,
I think that's Frobisher.
It's not. All right. Martin Frobisher. So
I could be dead wrong as well. Again, more angry comments, please.
So he was in the East Arctic in 1578, which is a long time ago.
That is significant.
Nearly 500 years ago, if I was just to be slightly less. So, and do you know what they enjoyed on their ship in the East Arctic?
Turkey.
No.
Cranberry sauce.
They ate
eggnog. Rum. Screaming matches?
No. No. They had a meal of salt beef biscuits and mushy peas to celebrate.
The mushy peas weren't too bad. I remember like they smelled like just bottled baby farts, but like it's the taste wasn't too bad. So it was salted biscuits and mushy peas.
Salt beef, biscuits, and mushy peas.
That doesn't sound that bad.
And it was to give thanks for this safe arrival in what is now none of it. So they celebrated a communion and formally expressed their thanks to the ship's chaplain, Robert Woolfall, who, according to explorer Richard Collinson, made unto them a godly sermon, exhorting them especially to be thankful to God for their strange and miraculous deliverance in those so dangerous places. That's my voice.
I can.
Yeah, that's what I imagine they said it. It sounds right for the words.
Right, yes. I was picturing him. It was just... So his face and your voice matched together very well. Thank you. In my head, at least.
Wonderful.
Yeah, it was good.
I just needed like some kind of crest around my neck and a hat with a buckle on and just a cod piece.
Now I know what to get you for Christmas.
Yay! Rocking the 1500s look. So technically, the US feast between Pilgrims and Native Americans at Plymouth was in 1621. But this Canadian Thanksgiving of salt beef biscuits and mushy peas and the amazing communion was 1578.
So Americans stole it from us.
Well, they I think, like the TV.
They got super jealous.
Yeah. Like the TV was invented at the same time by two different people in two different countries. They came up with the same, slightly different designs, but the same concept.
I know a lot about the television, and I did not know that.
I don't know the details, but anyway. So Americans created their own version of Thanksgiving. Canadians...
That can't be wrong. I'm going to look that up when I get home.
But my point is that like Thanksgiving was created simultaneously in Canada and the US. In Canada first and in the US. Except no, it wasn't like Thanksgiving as it's today. Like Walmart wasn't selling bunches of like...
I can't really picture Walmart back in the 1500s.
Walmart... it would be Walmart, purveyors of fine foods, or something like that.
Right.
The Walmart brothers, purveyors of fine foods.
Come on down to the Walmart Brothers store. You get all your sacks of grain and wheat thrashers. I don't know what they say.
Exactly.
Cholera free for 3 months.
Exactly. Then there was also another, and there's going to be a lot of French pronunciation coming up. So just to warn you, if you're going to get angry,
I'm not going to get angry.
No, I'm just talking about the audience, just to prepare you. So just
our angry audience.
Take some deep breaths,
right?
And we're just about to speak some French, or try to. So. In the 1600s, there was also in Quebec in 1606. So again, another instance in a different part of Canada before the American Thanksgiving. There was another feast that was started that was kind of like Thanksgiving. So there was a scurvy epidemic. And I don't know, have you ever had scurvy before? It's the worst.
In a junior high video about John Caboto, I pretended to, no, I didn't. I dried school glue onto my friend's hand and then kind of scraped it, made it flaky to demonstrate what it would be like to have scurvy. That is the closest I've ever come to seeing or being around scurvy.
Cool.
Mimicking it for school.
Well, it was a real issue in the settlement of Île-Séquoia. Samuel de Champlain founded a series of rotating feasts.
What was his name again, Rhys?
Samuel de Champlain. Champlain? Champlan? Champlain? Champlain.
Let me see. I can't see.
Champlain? I would say Champlain, but that's wrong. I know that doesn't sound right.
It's yeah, I can't see it from there.
Okay, so he founded a series of rotating feasts to battle scurvy, which I think meant they just, every month they'd have a feast, not that they sat on a table that spun around.
Oh, I was really hoping it was that one.
I know. I've been to Circus in Las Vegas, where the big top spins around while you gamble.
I've never heard of that.
It's great. Have you ever seen the film Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas?
Yes.
You know when they can't get off because the room is spinning?
It's been a long time since
it's a real casino with a real thing that spins around.
You just sit and like
you're gambling and the room rotates while you're gambling.
Like VLTs and various games just like slowly appear, and you take some dice and roll it before that table disappears, and then a slot machine comes in your view, and you pull the slot arm, and then you may or may not win, but then 5 seconds later it's gone, and you're
like that. No. Okay. Everything's on there. So
oh, that's not nearly as fun.
Yeah. Okay. So, but the only reason I stayed in the hotel was because of that film. You go to Vegas, where you stay in? The one from Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas, please, and nowhere else. It's only a 3-star. I don't care. I'm going to get drunk and fall off it. So,
sorry for the interruption, but we've got a quick announcement for you. It's going to be quick and painless, I promise. We'll be right back to the podcast after that. Stop crying.
So they found a series of rotating feasts at Port Royal, and it was called the Order of Good Cheer, or in French, Order de Bon Temps, which I might have just massacred with my mouth.
I believe you did. I don't even know what you said.
Order de Bon Temps. Nobody does. Let's move on. So also some local...
I don't believe you pronounced the P.
Some local Mi'kmaq families were invited. And the feast was held on the 14th of November, 1606, to celebrate the return of Jean de Bidencourt de Poutrincourt.
I can't read what you're saying at all. It just sounds like random syllables.
So a man was
returning. Are you having a stroke? Is this?
No, a man.
Do you need an aspirin? Are you okay? Was this
a man of French heritage returned from an expedition? Basically,
say it again.
Jean de Bidencourt de Poutrincourt. I'm sorry, people of Quebec or French-speaking Canadians in general. I just like to apologize.
So I'm not going to even attempt to. I'm done.
This guy called Mark went. I'm not going to try and say his last name. I could say Mark. Having attended the festivities, Mark remarked that they
let's just do first names for everybody from now on.
They consisted of a feast, a discharge of musketry, and as much noise as could be made by some 50 men. So. And then also there's another separate Thanksgiving that was created. So at the end of the 7 Years' War, a new France was handed over to the British Empire.
Right.
So essentially France ceded control in 1763 of its assets, its bits of Canada. Thanksgiving days were observed in Halifax just to celebrate the fact that they'd just taken the land off French control, but they did not occur every year. And also... During the American Revolution, American refugees who moved from the United States to Canada because they were still loyal to Great Britain, they brought things like turkey, pumpkin, and squash over. So Thanksgiving was a feast, but the idea of turkey, pumpkin, and squash was then brought over by loyalists to the crown. So there was an American influence, but it wasn't the reason why everyone was feasting.
Right. Okay.
So, what have you learnt so far?
I mean, but people like to eat.
They do. People like to eat. People like to feast. People don't like scurvy.
They like to discharge their guns. What do they do to combat scurvy? Just have a rotating feast?
Yeah, so lots of feasts. So
they still didn't understand that they needed citrus at that time, I guess.
Is it vitamin D?
C.
Yeah. So maybe that's what the feast was for. Maybe they didn't have lots of vitamin C, so they thought feasts would be good.
Did it work?
It doesn't say.
Oh no!
But I mean,
if there was a giant like graveyard due to scurvy, despite rotating feasts, it might have been mentioned.
unless it was one of those situations where it didn't fix the problem, but somebody just fancied a ton of feasts. And they were like, this is going to help them. But we get out of our feasts. They all die still of scurvy. But we tried. We just didn't.
Why am I laughing at that?
We didn't have the science at the time. It's not my fault. This is the 1600s. I tried my best. turkey leg. So, how the world works.
This is the 1600s. I tried my best.
So wherever you
I feel like there could be a book.
I tried my best. Despite any knowledge of science or reality, I tried my best.
A recount of the 1600s in Canada.
It's like when the Black Death was around London and they killed all the dogs because they blamed the dogs rather than the rats.
Oh,
so
really?
Just imagine like someone
that.
having a pet rat on their shoulder, like, killing a dog and going, phew. I try my best. Well, the rat fleas jump off and bite them in the face. So in the 1860s, there was an organization called Canada First. It was an organization that promoted the vision of Canadian identity and called for cultural institutions like Thanksgiving to support a white Protestant Canada that celebrated farm, family, and religious devotion.
White Protestant Canada?
White Protestant Canada.
WPC.
WPC.
Sounds like a radio show.
It doesn't sound very PC.
No.
Ironically. And they
being politically correct and white.
It's not just being Protestant, white, and Canadian. So in 1865, the Globe and Mail ran an editorial calling for praise to thank divine providence for the special favours vouchsafed to our country during the past season, which included a good harvest at the end of a decade of economic turmoil. So they called for to give a holiday to give like a national character for everyone to celebrate being Canadian and to eat food and be Canadian.
A like a mascot?
No, like a holiday which everyone would be celebrating at the same time.
Oh, you said character, like a character we could
like a national character, as in like it would build a national character because everyone was like,
not like an animated character.
I might be in Manitoba at night because it's Manitoba
That's
nights.
what you did there. That was good.
And then
snuck that in there.
And then somebody else might be in Vancouver Day for Vancouver Days, the spin-off. But we're all eating Thanksgiving today. It builds national identity for everyone to know that it doesn't matter where you are, who you are, and what you're eating. We're all giving thanks. Thanks for all the giving.
Saskatchewan sunset.
Exactly. It's endless possibility.
Right.
Exactly. So the idea was they wanted everyone to pray together on the same day as well.
Right,
but
sure.
I don't think
like at the same time too.
Do you know what? It's like in the UK, on Christmas Day they have the Queen's speech, and people who are like super patriotic monarchists everyone will sit around in silence to listen to the Queen's speech.
Wow.
And I was raised in a household where we just watched, we watched Indiana Jones. So, it's kind of like a thing where it's like a national, everyone in the UK, I think like lots of people would like to believe in the UK, everyone is wearing a tie and a shirt at home. And
that's what I see.
Everyone dresses
when
up
I think
nicely.
of the UK. I just like I picture like sitting rooms with a little clock ticking in the background. And
maybe someone's holding a pipe.
Oh yeah, that's good. But they're wearing like a tweed jacket, smoking a pipe, and sipping on tea with a little plate of cheese next to it, while the clock ticks in the background. And like maybe there's 3 or 4 people in the room, but nobody's saying anything nor making eye contact. Yeah.
Just the Queen on a little screen.
Oh,
Shut your piles, you little buggers! Mom's on the telly.
Oh, I thought that was the Queen.
No, that wasn't. That wasn't the Queen.
You were doing an impression of the Queen there.
That was the mother.
I definitely have to start watching the Queen's speeches.
That was the mother telling the kids off for playing Guess Who loudly, because the Queen was about to talk.
Oh, okay.
Put that board game away, like that. Sorry, I can't even do a British accent very well. So they wanted that. They wanted everyone sat around watching TV together, except everyone's praying together at the same time in the 19th century. So
that's about what? Like, did they give them prayer instructions?
I don't know. So in 1908, the date was moved to a Monday.
Dear God, please get rid of my scurvy.
Dear God,
and I suppose my children as well. Like, this is the...
Thank you for my turkey from Walmart Brothers Emporium and my sack of grain. I'm enjoying this grain stuffed turkey.
Thank you. Cup of grain, my bowl of grain, and my plate of hot grain.
Once the clock strikes 3, we will discharge our muskets and cause as much noise as 50 men can.
Even though there's only 13
Even though we're
in our little village.
We're a family of 4. Exactly.
So we have our cymbals, our trombone, our firecrackers.
And that was it. So I've never prayed, but I imagine that's how it goes. You put an antenna on your head and you put your finger in the socket. That's what I'd do. Is that how prayer works? Is that how prayer works?
Yes, Rhys. Yes, that is
Cool.
exactly how. So if anyone out there in Canada land is wondering how to pray with the rest of Canada this Thanksgiving. Oh my God.
So in 1908, the date was moved to a Monday. And then in 1957, a law was passed to make it the second Monday of October each year. And it's been that way ever since. So for over...
So just the date just kept moving around.
Yeah, they were just like, well, if we're going to sync our thanks and giving, we need to sync it on the right day. So, and they all...
So it's not like there was a momentous date in history that we are trying to remember.
No, they were just trying to find it and fit it around everything else. So...
the convenient holiday.
So Canadians automatically get the Monday of Thanksgiving off work in most parts of the country, except the Atlantic provinces. So Prince Edward Island, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Newfoundland and Labrador, where it's still an optional holiday. And Kitchener-Waterloo Oktoberfest holds a Thanksgiving parade in Ontario.
Just a side note, did you know that all of those provinces you mentioned are part of the Atlantic provinces, but Newfoundland is not part of the Maritimes?
No.
Just this little neat bit of trivia.
You do know things.
I do,
Despite
yes.
their terrible reviews, they've misjudged you. Take a second look at Jesse Harley's knowledge.
Bask, people.
Yeah. Basket.
Bask in my knowledge. As Rhys is doing right now. You should see the look on his face as he's basking.
So not everyone enjoys turkey, though. Jig's dinner is often preferred in Newfoundland.
Oh, yes.
Now, I had to search what Jig's dinner was, but it just sounds like it's a mixture of leftovers.
I'm trying to remember. I remember Jig's dinner. I don't know if I ever ate Jig's dinner. I lived in Newfoundland for a little bit when I was a teenager.
Okay, I'm going to read this as Jig's dinner is a staple of outport.
Oh, you have to say it with a Newfoundland accent.
I can't. Jig's dinner is a staple outport of Newfoundland cuisine. It's also called boiled, cooked, or Sunday dinner. It's usually served on a Sunday.
Oh yeah, just boiled.
A large
Boiled
portion-
is also boiled dinner, isn't it?
Yeah,
I love those two words put together. Newfoundland cuisine. It's just those are two words you don't hear very often.
A large portion of Jig's dinner is also meant to yield plenty of leftovers, which is commonly called hash. It's mixed together and fried in a pan with whatever can be found in the fridge. You know, maybe a bottle of Coca-Cola, some of those yogurt drinks kids love. The hash is then fried on Mondays and is very popular.
Yeah, no, I remember.
Whatever you find in the fridge.
True.
Medication.
Newfoundland. I'd love to do an entire episode or few on just Newfoundland itself. Newfoundland is an amazing place with its own.
It's wonderful that you say that because we do have the Newfoundland episode coming out after this one about the 10,000 people from Newfoundland who tried to murder their prime minister.
Oh yeah.
So all your dreams will come true. You wanted to learn about Thanksgiving, and I just taught you about it. So it's funny how things full circle. But also in the BC, a lot of people enjoy pumpkin pie, but in BC they have the Nanaimo bars.
Nanaimo. Very
Nanaimo
close.
bars.
Very close.
Nanaimo bars. And
Dramatically different from Newfoundland hash and
I know exactly.
boiled / Jig's dinner.
Butter tarts in Ontario. That's what they have for the dessert. Well, not everyone, but that's just a traditional Thanksgiving dessert.
Right.
So, yeah, that's it. And obviously, so I'm looking forward to my third Thanksgiving.
Are you going to have Jig's dinner, even though you're in Nova Scotia, not Newfoundland? It's the Atlantic provinces. It's all the same.
I think we've got a turkey.
Okay.
We're going to cook the turkey.
Are you going to do a turducken?
What's a turducken?
You've never heard of a turducken?
No.
This is a thing. This is an actual thing.
Oh, is that a turkey and a duck inside each other?
Close. Think of the word turducken.
So is a turkey with a duck and a chicken inside?
It's a chicken stuffed into a duck, stuffed into a turkey.
A turducken.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. People
think-
actually make these.
Sounds like an abomination.
Well, if it were alive, yes. That would be
You
terrifying.
kill them first. And then you throw them. It's going to be very
You
difficult.
don't stuff a chicken into a duck while it's alive and then stuff that duck into a turkey while they're alive.
I did.
What were you
A
thinking?
red flag popped up for animal welfare. So You'd have to get a runner.
Rhys, stop, you're doing it wrong. Oh my God. You have to get a run up like a chicken in one hand running at the duck.
Or hold a duck open and drop a chicken from a tall building.
Oh my God. You and your friend from other opposite ends of the yards. He has a duck. You've got a chicken. You run at each other like joust.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to get so much.
Yeah, this is cruel. Don't do this.
Just like
COVID is real, don't run at each other with small birds. And have a wonderful Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving. Let's before we go, name a few things that you're thankful for in Canada, Rhys. I am thankful for when the leaves turn color in autumn in the Cape Breton National Highlands, as it looks like you're traveling through a Van Gogh, or as you would pronounce it, Van Gogh painting, and it's beautiful. Sounds like he's got a hairball.
I'm thankful for Timbits because they're cheap and my kids feel like they're getting a treat that's special.
You're a wonderful father.
I know. They're having a good time. That's the main thing. I took them to Disneyland. I can't afford anything else from Timbits.
I am thankful for the look on people's faces when I tell them that the most dangerous animal in all of Canada is a male moose in heat.
Nice. I love that film.